Deflective, defensive, emotional. Repeat that with me. Deflective, defensive, emotional. I'm going to start talking about this. This is the video where I introduce that theme. Deflective, defensive, emotional. Okay? Here's something I've learned in life. When you see a person have those traits, there's more to the story. You know how I am about patterns and theories. You can tell so much about a person who is, what are they again? Deflective, defensive, emotional. Now, deflective means that you could be talking about one subject and then that person starts veering off into this other direction that's not really even related to what you're bringing up. That's deflective. Of course, defensive, it means that they're becoming argumentative about the subject. And then emotional, that's where they're going to start, trying to insult you, or they're going to raise their voice. They're going to get upset. Okay. So when you see someone who becomes any of those things, when you're talking about something, you're having a conversation, it's a red flag that there's more going on and they're trying to sort something out. Okay. So right now I'm teaching you about emotional intelligence, but this all comes back to hair loss. Trust me. It always comes back to hair loss, doesn't it? Now, this is something I learned when I became a vegan. I learned that even though I know good and well I get plenty of protein, and I have for years, I'm very healthy, right? I'm not lacking protein. But try to tell someone who's overweight that you're getting enough protein. Overweight people who are unhealthy, I've learned the stereotype is they get defensive and they start saying that I don't get enough protein even though they're getting too much. And that's when I started learning this, okay? So let's talk more, let's veer this over to hair loss. As you know, I take the comments very seriously, and I don't take them to heart, but I take them very seriously because when I see a comment come through, I think, what's really going on in that kid's life? And yes, I did just say kid, because remember, I'm technically old enough to be your dad. I'm 36 and you're at 18 or under, right? So what I'm seeing is, it's so cliche at this point. Someone who is new to the channel arrives here, they leave some kind of attempt at an insult, but they don't realize that they don't have power over my emotions and no one can insult me. But when I see that, when I see some kind of negative lashing out, saying that I'm wasting someone's time, or that I'm either too bald or I'm not bald enough, all those things, it's reflecting the fact that they're going through something right now, and that's them sorting out the concept that they think that they're going bald. Now, as I keep saying, most of you, almost all of you have ever sent me a picture of your hairline, you're barely Norwood 1. That's the reality of it. So I find it very interesting that so many people are emotional and distraught about all this, and it's not even that they're actually losing their hair. That's I promise, Robert, if you're watching this, I know that you don't see the pictures that I do, but I'm telling you, these kids, straight across hairline in the beginning of this, and they're saying I'm bald. Robert, that's what's happening. Okay, all right. Robert's like my henchman. He's like my go-to guy that knows all the facts and figures about hair loss. I learned so much from Robert. So if you ever see Robert in the comments, listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. So going back to this, so just know that when I see comments, here's the 3 things I'm looking for right away. I'm seeing, is this comment deflective? Are they deflecting what I'm seeing in the video by trying to insult me, or saying I have too much hair, not enough hair, something like that? Are they defensive? Are they, again, usually lashing out at me or saying something I'm saying is completely wrong, and they're like very vocal about it? Or emotional, just basically a worse version. You can tell that they're negatively excited about participating in the comments. When I see that, I'm never offended, I'm never surprised, I'm never hurt, but instead I'm thinking, what's going on in that person's life, and who do they have in their life to help them through it? Okay, here's something I'm beginning to process right now. I mentioned a minute ago that I'm old enough to be some of your dads. I mean, if I had you when I was 18, but still, something that I fail to forget. See, I have a really good dad. I do, and you've seen him in my videos, and you've admitted this is a cool guy. I perhaps take that for granted when I am dealing with a lot of you guys that don't have a positive father figure in your life for whatever reason. And I'm sorry, because you don't have someone that you could talk to about these fears and anxieties you have, not only about your hair loss, but about anything. That's so important. And my dad was always there for me on that. Or if it's not a dad, an uncle, some kind of older man in your life that's way stages past you in life to go over this with you. I am a mentor, but in some ways I am the father figure to you. And I think you needed me to tell you this today. I don't want to say I'm judging you, but I am assessing you. I'm trying to see if you're deflective, defensive, or emotional when it comes to hair loss. Because, and here's why I say that. Why is it that just as many irrational comments that I get every week, that I get just as many thanking me and praising me for what I do, saying this is legitimate stuff and I'm glad you're doing it and please keep doing it. Those people are grounded enough to move to the next level. Whereas some of you aren't there yet, and it's going to take months of watching. Okay? But just know, I'm labeling you. If you come across in the comments as deflective, defensive, or emotional, I know that you're one that I need to keep working with, and you need to keep watching my videos. You really need this more than the other guys who are able to move on and accept it and say, you know what, Nick, I buzzed my hair off, #1 guard, best thing I did, best thing I could have done. Thank you for helping me get here. And my hope is that one day you can be like that guy. But so many of you aren't. You're still stuck in that triad of being deflective, defensive, and emotional. Okay? So I realize and I accept my role as your father figure.